So we'll go ahead and we'll start the meeting.
This conference will now be recorded.
It is now 5:38 p.m. It is Thursday, February the 18th, 2021. This is the work session for the Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority. And I'll mention again that we are rescheduled. We rescheduled this meeting from our normal meeting date, which would have been the second Thursday of the month, in order to allow for anybody or everybody that wanted to listen in on the mayor's State of the City presentation last week. And so as a courtesy to that, and for anybody that wanted to be in on it, I think we contacted everybody and everybody was in agreement. So moving on, item number one of the facade program, and I want to apologize to everyone. I don't know, apologize, but we've kicked this can down the road a lot, several times for different reasons, and I'm hoping that tonight we can come to some finality on it, because I'd like to get it completely done with a full and complete document. I will have Mike Scholl complete that for us for next month. But I wanted to go in with as much accuracy as we can on it. I did have a conversation with Mike today, and he did tell me, he said, we discussed it. He said, trying to attain a perfect document is probably not possible, but getting a really good one will be just as helpful, because as time goes, you'll figure out what maybe needs to be changed, and you can make those amendments as time progresses. So we'll make, if there are any, I did send out on February the 8th a memo to everybody, along with the document and the attachments, which included a copy of the revised map with the boundaries, and make sure that we are within the corporate limits of the city of Trinidad, and along with a application, which is the one that we had amended previously to change the percentages and total amount per project. But I also did include in there a statement that we had talked about that it never has to be put on there, and I think it needs to be on the application where it's signed for and attested to, that the grantee, whoever we grant funds to, will allow TURA to put signage at the project site, just to show that TURA is a participating funding source. That was a part of the packet document that I sent to everybody. I know Commissioner Bolton did review it, because she did contact me and give me her input on it, and she made a couple of revisions, catching a couple of typographical errors and a couple of other things. So with that said, I will forego my further comments and see if anybody else would like to mention anything. I'm hoping everybody has that document, either reviewed it or has it close at hand, because there are a couple of things that we need to make mention of to make sure that we have it edited and prepared for the final adoption in March. Comments?
Commissioner Bolton, if I may, we still do not have the revised version of the threefold brochure. It needed to be updated to coincide with our large version. And I've not seen a copy of that. Also, in what was sent to us in the packet, there are 2 application forms attached, one of which, I think it's the second of which, has the verbiage regarding signage. So the other one just needs to be removed.
Right. Yeah, refer to the set. Yeah, probably in the scan process, the highlighted part of that application doesn't show up so well, but there is a sentence in there that does refer to that. I will get out and read it. Applicant agrees to allow signage at the site which acknowledges TURA as a participating source of funding. So that will follow that follows, and again, it's in there. It shows up in a little bit of dark, but it didn't show up with the yellow highlight that I had put on there, and that probably failed in the scanning process. But I think we had talked about that and thought it would be a good idea that any grantee that we grant funds to would allow us to put some sort of signage just indicating that we're a participating source of funds. Anybody else?
I I think that is a great suggestion, and I'm glad to see it included and that you remembered to include it. And other than that, I have no further comments.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm fine with that, and I agree with Commissioner Bolton. I think that the signage to put on that location will show that there's actually some activity from this organization.
Okay. And Commissioner Bolton, I'm sorry, Commissioner.
No, go ahead. That's all I have.
Okay, Commissioner Bolton, to address what you just asked about the brochure, and I actually had a lengthy conversation with Mike Scholl from Ayers and Associates today, and he did say that he's final revision of the brochure is pending final revision of what we put in our facade document.
Commissioner Bolton, great. I just wanted to make sure it did not get overlooked.
No, it won't get overlooked. He's prepared to make that change, but it's going to be based upon what we finally do. And there are going to be some edits in here because the document that I sent out earlier, one of the things is we had agreed, and you did receive a map included with that all. Is we are taking the boundaries from the core zone district an additional quarter mile. It does list 6 blocks on the document that was prepared and which I sent you, but that needs to be changed. I will read the sentence. TURA hereby establishes a program for commercial buildings within the core zone district plus an additional 6 blocks. That 6 blocks has to go to quarter mile because that was, I believe we agreed on taking it away from the 6 blocks and using the quarter mile, which is depicted on that map that was provided by the City of Trinidad, City Manager Mike Valentine through the Engineering Department. So is that quarter mile, as it shows in the core zone district, is highlighted in red. The extension is included in like a light brown color. Is that to everybody's agreement?
Yes.
That makes sense to change that language there.
It has to be because we had, I think at the December meeting, or I'm working from memory here, but at Commissioner Barak's comments, the 6 blocks he found because of the not equal distance to every block in the City of Trinidad, that it was problematic. So TURA tabled it at that time and said we need to consider a quarter, third, and half miles, but anything beyond a quarter mile will create us problems. So quarter mile is where it has to max out at.
And that was agreed upon, correct? And that's where we're at with this map now, right?
Right. Yes.
Well, I'm ready to move forward with it. I think it's time.
Okay. Well, like I said, there's a few little, they're not intricacies, but couple little changes in there in wording that I've devised, but I'll get those to, and my original note to everybody, and I will apologize for it, was that we would make those verbal revisions tonight and a passage in a regular session contingent upon those. But I think it's cleaner if we just have the document in place the way we want it. I don't want to do it contingent because if something came out differently at that time, we just have to reverse our process all over again. And I sincerely don't want to do that. I want this program to get off the ground. We'll go to an advertisement, see if we get some interest in some applicants. So with that said, I will get with Mike one more time. We'll talk over a few items, get that back to everybody for a review prior to next month's meeting. I will ask that once we get it to you, please let me know in advance any changes you want to make so we can have it in final form before I have to put out the next agenda in the week prior to March 11th. So basically by March the 4th, I need to have any comments or changes, questions or else, otherwise we're going to take it forward.
Sounds good.
Anybody else?
I'm good.
Commissioner Barak, are you on?
Maybe.
Okay. Now I've got to be dad. I got to call you.
Hey, you're older than I am, so it's appropriate.
Yeah, that's not. So, are there any? That's the only thing we have was the facade program revisions. I brought up that, and like I say, there are a couple of minor typos in there, a couple of wordings that I will discuss with Mike, but I will get that back to the Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority in advance so that we can, like I say, if it's good, I'll ask you for some comment, however you want to make it. But I'd like to see that go forward in March and get this program to where it needs to be. Is there anything that
good timing for it?
I'm sorry.
I said that'll be a good timing for it.
Yeah, I think now as weather changes and hopefully there's some possibilities based on weather and possibly a change in the economic climate everywhere and here included, that there will be some interest, and I think it's a good program for people that want to be a part of it. Is there anything that anybody would like to have included on future work session, either next month or in subsequent months? If not tonight, please let me know, because my sources are starting to get a little dried up. And once we get past this particular matter with the facade renovation, although as those applications, as we get them, which I'm very working in an optimistic way, we will be talking about that as to actually reviewing applications and granting funds. So that will give us work and things to talk about. Good.
I had a conversation in just passing with the city building inspector, and he caught me in the courthouse, and we were just chatting, and he did mention some issues with some homes that are blight or occupied that have no power, water, sewer, and stuff, and how can we move forward with some of those things? I think he did say he spoke with Mike on it, but he also reached out to the health department for I guess some assistance with removing these vagrants that are living in theirs or abandoned homes or whatever. So I thought maybe that might be a good discussion to have on how we move forward with some of these properties that he was mentioning, and I don't know if they're the details of the properties or if they are owned by landlords or owners that don't live in the area, live abroad. But that might be something we can look at, because I think that was put in our hands to address some of those issues for blight and some of these issues that the city might be having a hard time, and also the health department of doing anything with. But we have, I believe, some bit of some wiggle room or authority on that issue, and how can we work together with all entities to move forward with those properties. So that might be something to think of, and have a dialogue with the city and possibly with the health department, and what their both situations are at and what we can do as a board. And then also where we're going to move forward, or if and when of possibly obtaining the executive director, and how we're going to fund that, or if we even want to move forward with that at this point. So that might be something to discuss.
All right. We will. That can be. City Manager Mike Valentine, you're on, right?
I am, Chairman. I appreciate that. Several things along those lines. We've been, I don't know, these weeks are flying by, but we are going to have the City Council work session on February 22nd. Is going to actually be kind of a housing forum. I believe Audra was supposed to send out invites to everybody. I hope she did. Pass them along to whoever you want to listen in, but part of that discussion is with DOLA Housing, CHAFA, OEDIT, our realtors, and along the lines that Commissioner Lopez is speaking of, there are some opportunities for loans, a revolving loan type fund for dilapidated housing, for fixing those up. There are opportunities through the college with what they're doing with their workforce. I think Urban Renewal might be the board that is situated to move some of them things forward. Until we hear the details, I don't know, but in my mind, that's a good suggestion from Commissioner Lopez to have that discussion. But I encourage you to listen to that forum. There's going to be some case studies and such done there. As far as the executive director, we have been trying to hire a city planner here for 2 rounds now, and we had interviews yesterday, as a matter of fact. We've got some good applicants, and as part of that process, we're asking the city planner if they have any experience with urban renewal authorities and their willingness to also fill that role, kind of to help move things forward and take the load off of the board and Chairman Riego for putting all these things together. So, yeah, hopefully that answers your question, but also gives you some information on our housing forum. Definitely think it's going to be a good discussion start. Thank you.
It's at 3 p.m., right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
3 p.m. on Monday, the February 22nd. There's a Zoom invite out there. If you don't have it, contact me or Audra will get it to you. It'll be in the newspaper. We're wanting as many people as we can to listen in and hopefully spur some conversation and get some developers some options. They're not breaking down our door, even though we all know there's a housing crunch right now, and you know, new Al coming on board and everybody moving in here and good things happening. So anyway, yeah.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Again, those are items that we will, hopefully we'll glean something from this meeting on the 22nd, and we will bring it on for us to make discussion, or you know, we might put something else out there by next month. But those are things that we can definitely put on for future meetings. Is there anything else that anybody would like to mention that we can bring, or if not, you're welcome to call me or send me email to if you think of something and would like to bring it forward. You're welcome to do it that as well if it's not on your mind tonight. That
Commissioner Leone, I would. Have we had any interest in our land yet?
Okay, we're going to take up that in when we get into reports.
Okay.
When we get into regular meeting, I have some reports to give.
Okay.
So
because I thought that way, if we had to, we could keep advertising or something. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. No. There's. I'll give you. I'm going to provide that now. Anybody else? With nothing else being mentioned, we are now going to close the work session. It is now 5:57 p.m. Thursday, February the 18th, 2021. This is the regular meeting of the Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority. And I will preface the opening of the meeting by reminding everyone that according to our bylaws we adopted in February of 2019, the February meeting is our annual meeting at which time we elect our chairman and vice chairman, and that is on new business tonight. Item number 1, roll call.
Barak,
Present.
Bolton,
Here.
Leone,
Here.
Lopez,
I'm here.
Rego.
Here. Item number 2 is approval of the minutes from the previous meeting of February the 11th. I think I'm right on that. Is there a motion? I'm sorry, January the 14th. I'm 1 month off. January the 14th, 2021. Is there a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the minutes of January 14th, 2021.
Is there a second?
Mr. Bolton, I would second that.
Are there any questions or comments? Roll call.
Rack,
Abstain.
Bolton,
Yes.
Leone,
Yes.
Lopez,
Abstain.
Grego.
Yes. Item number 3 is the acceptance of the financial report. In the agenda packet, the statement of revenue and expenses as of January the 31st, 2021 were included. I would assume that everybody took the opportunity to review. Is there a motion? Motion to accept.
Commissioner Bolton, I would make a motion to accept the financial report.
Second.
Was Lopez?
Yes.
On there, I just want to bring up this, and this is done by the finance department. So one of the things that you'll notice on there in the numbers in the actual, and it's in the project account. There's an amount in there that I think it says 300. The amount that actually is involved, $333,524. That was really not a budgeted item last year. That was a flow through related to the sewer line, and I don't know if it was we understood it to be that way, that it needed to go through us, but I think ultimately, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, I think the Puerto Development told us that particular item did not have to. So it was basically a flow in of money from the city and a flow back out from our account. So it's not money that we did anything with. It was an exchange of checks. Right. So you have two accounts.
For the development agreement, correct, Chairman? And also, there will be more of that activity as we are doing the second phase of that sewer line. As we speak, the contractor is out there working per the development agreement between city, urban renewal, La Puerta, the business improvement district, that whole document. That money is also going to have to flow through urban renewal for payment. So more forthcoming. We anticipate that Americana Road will also be bidding out soon. We're waiting on them to put that out to bid. Same situation. So you will see some of that on your financials moving forward.
Thank you.
No money comes from urban renewal. It's all kind of passed through from the city, and the developer also has to put in their share. Hopefully that confused everybody. Hopefully that helps you out.
No, it's just just part of the agreement. I mean, it's going to create a little bit of work, but we just got to order a bunch of checks up, I guess. There's a motion and there's a second. Any further questions or comments? Roll call.
Rack,
Yes.
Bolton,
Yes.
Leone,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Grego.
Yes. Item number 4 is the consideration of bills. And tonight we have 2 on the agenda. One of them is to the Chronicle News for $26.12. And that was through the advertisement to the RFP, or the request for expressions of interest. It was run twice as required by the statute, It was published on 1/22/21 and 1/29/21. So $26.12 for 2 runnings of the ad. Is there a yeah, let's do them each individually. So the consideration of the bill for the Chronicle News 2612. Is there a motion?
Commissioner Burak, so moved.
Commissioner Bolton, second.
Are there any questions or comments? Roll call.
Burak,
Yes.
Bolton,
Yes.
Leone,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Grego.
Yes. Item number 2, or item B under consideration of bills, is the payment for services provided by Ayers and Associates for the months of December and January. We had a little lag in there, unfortunately, and so you'll notice that on the billings, although they came out at the same time, $1,360.50 was billed for the month of December, which technically should have come out of last year's budget, and January for $1,231.50. And that involved all those hours that they listed for the various tasks that they completed for us. There are 2 bills. Is there a motion?
Commissioner Bolton, I'd make a motion to approve and pay the bill to Ayers and Associates.
Commissioner Leone, I second it.
Any questions or comments?
I have a
Okay.
comment, Chairman,
sure.
on the, it's not a discrepancy, but from December expenditure and, like you mentioned, coming out of last year's budget, I'd probably be okay to do this collectively, but you might want to, in our record keeping, note that was an expenditure for December, but it came out of 2021's expenses somehow. That way, we show transparency on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be notated. I'll have to get with the finance director who prepares our financials and see how we make that, and some more reporting on that as well.
Thank you.
Brittany, I actually can make those changes to it, so I will put a note in on the document.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Burak,
Yes.
Bolton,
Yes.
Leone,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Grego.
Yes. Item number 5, petitions or communications, oral or written. I've not seen anything in writing. Is there anybody in the audience or anybody logged in tonight that would like to address Urban Renewal, Trinidad Urban Renewal? Again, I ask anybody that would like to address Trinidad Urban Renewal. Let the record show that there is no one that has come forward under petitions or communications to address the TURA. Item number 6, old business. There is none. Item number 7, new business. And again, this is our annual meeting. It is in the month of February, although delayed by 1 week. Tonight is the night that we make an election, do the election of officers. And I, again, will preface mine. Anybody that would like to be chairman, I encourage you to speak up now. Otherwise, the floor is open.
Commissioner Lopez, I would like to nominate Chairman Grego to continue in his role as chairman of TURA.
Commissioner Burak, I'll second that.
You guys are just too nice.
Hey, once we catch one, we keep it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your confidence, and like I say, again, I would more than be happy to share it with someone else as far as if you'd like to take it over. But if not, again, I serve at your pleasure, and again, I appreciate the confidence.
I'd make the motion to cease all nominations and nominate Chairman Grego.
There's a motion and a second, and a motion to close all nominations.
Second that.
And a second. Roll call.
Barack,
Yes.
Bolton,
Yes.
Leone,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Grego.
Yes. Item number 7B, election of a vice chairman.
I make a motion. I make a motion that Commissioner Bolton take vice chairman.
Second.
Lopez.
The other nominations.
Make a motion that all nominations cease.
Is there a second to
Barack,
that? Nominations are now closed. Roll call, please.
Barack,
Yes.
Bolton.
Yes.
Leone,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Grego.
Yes. Item number 8, reports by executive. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, Commissioner Bolton, if I may, I would also like to express my thanks for the commission's confidence in me, and that I also serve at the pleasure of the authority, and am happy to help in any way possible.
And at that, I would like to express my gratitude to Commissioner Bolton for her assistance. She's several things that she's had to put out time for this year as far as our facade document and those kinds of things. So express my gratitude to her, that I can reach out to her as needed and discuss things. So thanks, Carol. I appreciate you.
You're more than welcome, and please continue to do so.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Bolton.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 8, reports by executive director. And although we don't have an executive director, I do have several things that I've had to handle over the past month or so, and I need to bring to everybody's attention and or to your report. So I'm going to give that to you, not so rather than wait till the commission reports by commissioners. I will give that to you where it would be probably more appropriate, the executive director. I guess the first item I want to report is I did submit to Department of Local Affairs the estimated budget for the year 2021, which I did receive confirmation that it was accepted. It is in the files. Anybody that would like to review that, you may go into the Department of Local Affairs site and go to the place where you'll find Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority, and you'll see the information that's been filed since the inception or the revitalization that happened in 2015. Item number 2 I need to report on. You saw that we did publish twice the request for proposals or request for interests, and I did shortly thereafter, after publication, I did receive 2 inquiries, and I did send out 2 packets. I've not received any more responses, but there were two responses and to the packets. Item number 3 I want to report is Trinidad and the City of Trinidad and the Trinidad Urban Renewal as part of it are members of the organization, or I guess that's the best way to put it, for Downtown Colorado Incorporated, known as DCI. And on February the 25th, 2020, they host a Thursday, DCI weekly Thursday call. It's an hour-long call-in and little program presentation. And they have asked Mike Ayers to provide highlights for the urban renewal in the city of Trinidad. So I spoke with him today. We're gathering information. I'm going to try to get some more photos to him, and he's trying to. Unfortunately, Google Photos are a little dated, so it doesn't really depict a lot of the things that are happening in and around the city. And so just to let everybody know, there will be an email sent out next week, and I can make sure it gets to everybody. But between 9 and 10 o'clock, Mike is in charge of, he was invited to do it, and he's going to provide as much information as he can. His association with us is very limited, I don't know, since we began in the fall. So I'm trying to help him put together the information. I will log in, and obviously it's an open forum, so anything that I can provide, I will. But just to let you know, on February the 25th, 2021, I'm sorry, 2021, which will be next week, next Thursday. The call-in will be in, it's going to be information provided on or about the city of Trinidad. And urban renewal. What urban renewal is, there's a little history to it. Any questions on it?
Commissioner Bolton, no questions. I just think it's a great opportunity for Trinidad.
I was a little surprised. I was a little happy to hear that was available. I get those emails every week, and just unfortunately, I mostly tune in on them. But there's a lot of shared information from locales around the state, telling you what they're doing, what their plans are, what it is that they've encountered over the last year as a result of the pandemic. There's a lot of information that comes out. It's a brief 1-hour meeting, but it's a visit with your peers to be able to determine or know what's going on. So it allows you to get outside the blocks. And finally, the other thing that I discussed with Mike Scholl from Ayers and Associates, and don't know how we're going to do it because it's been mentioned before, and I think it was mentioned in maybe last month's meeting by Commissioner Bolton about a website, a dedicated website for Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority. Ayers and Associates has the capabilities and a department that is able to do that. Mike said if we have any interest in that he could provide us a proposal and an estimated cost of what it would be to design it, so that all those forms that we might have, which include the facade document that will be out there, its application, the RFP could have been on there. Those right now have had to come request to me, and I have to distribute that. His thought is that if those are available on a website, that the public can just go directly to it and have to bypass having to go through the board. Is there an interest to that?
Commissioner Bolton. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think that it would be a very good thing for us to do, and that would sidestep you, Ed, or exclude you from having to deal with these things if they were online in one dedicated area. I'd be interested in knowing what his proposal will be.
Okay. Commissioner Leone, were you going to say something?
Just about the same thing. I think that'd be a great idea, and I think it would help you a lot out too right now.
A question with that then to City Manager Mike Valentine, because I know that the city has to maintain certain compliance. Will there be any, or do you think that there might be any difficulty with us trying to do it on our own? I know there's a tab on the City of Trinidad site. There's information for meetings and all those things for various boards and commissions. Is that problematic in any way?
Somewhat problematic in that we are we have a DOJ settlement that we have to follow, so everything has to be accessible. I think we can work through it, but I would have to, I'll have to sit down and talk with IT and that, but we can work through something, I'm sure.
Okay, well, like I said, he brought that up, and we've talked about it before. We know there's a need for it, but I just don't want to knock us out because that's been mentioned in the past, that there's a compliance, an ADA compliance issue that we need to maintain, and far be it from us, and we don't want to violate that or create any problems. So, I'll talk with him, and again, he could provide us his thoughts and an estimation of what it would take to do it. So it won't hurt. It has, it's non-binding and there's no committal on it. So we can ask him what it would involve and what they would propose.
So I appreciate that, and you might have him contact the city, and we can give him what the requirements were under for the DOJ,
Okay.
and it's CAG 2.0 standards. It's a little more than most cities have to do, but we are under that order, so we don't want to pull foul of it. So I appreciate.
No, we make sure we abide by it. There's no second thoughts or second guess. If the requirement is there, it has to be so. Because it was just brought up, and I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention and just bring it up. Sorry. That's all I have to bring into that. Maybe that was enough, or more said than I should have. But that's what I have. So we move on to item number 9, reports by commissioners. Is there anything that the commissioners would like to mention, bring up, or discuss at this point?
Commissioner Bolton, I have nothing.
This is Luis. I just want to reiterate the fact that thank you to Chairman Grego and Commissioner Bolton for their efforts in assisting this organization moving forward. Taking on that role, I know how much time it takes to be in these positions, and especially in the situation I'm in, I'm on quite a few of these positions. So thank you guys very much for your commitment to this Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority. It's just well appreciated. And also, just not on the TURA issue, county issue, that we were able to finalize $620,000 in grants last week that went out to small businesses and nonprofits. And I wanted to let the TURA board know that was voted in by Los Angeles County taxpayers in November, and we followed through with the commitment. And a lot of those people that received that were very happy and said they were basically going to be paying some bills to the city and to the county. So that money is just coming full circle, and it sure was able to help a lot of people and catch up and stuff. So and then with the housing, if you guys can all be on that call, that'd probably be really great. Now that I mentioned those comments about future work sessions, in the past I was concerned that we would look at small properties in the community of whether condemning or calling them blight and trying to get rehab on them, because it'd be difficult for people to want to commit to something like that when it's next to another property that isn't probably that desirable to live next to. But however, with the situation we're in, I think it might be a good thing to look at that in that work session moving forward, with possibly looking at every angle we possibly can to develop and start rehabbing these small areas in town that when we sign up one house, maybe the next one will start to take note and move forward with that. So I think we're in a situation where these are the cards we're dealt, and we've got to work with them. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Well, that seems to bring us to the end of our business for this evening. So the last item we have on here, is there a motion to adjourn?
We're not coming for adjournment.
I second it.
Therefore, if there are no dissenting votes, we will call this meeting adjourned at 6:23 p.m. Thank you, everyone, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Right.
Good night.
Thank
And
you.
thank you. Commissioner Bolton.
This
thank you
conference
very
is no longer being recorded.